Happy Sunday, everybody. I decided to go live today because I had this major realization. And I always started off like that, I know, but it's life. And I've been reading this amazing book that I've been putting in the back of my list for months now by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And this month I've been really being tested internally of, why aren't I manifesting what I want? Like, why aren't things going my way? And just getting really down on myself and critical. And, fighting that fear and doubt that things won't work out. And I read today in the book, it was actually a story about his son, but the main message was what it takes to truly manifest your dreams. Whether it's, thanks Jess, whether it's your ideal body or your dream job, or just to have a life where you're not stressed and you're confident and you're, feeling sexy, whatever it is, it comes down to the same thing. And that is a burning desire. And it wasn't until today that I truly understood what that meant. A burning desire is something that literally just calls to you on a soul level. That you wake up and, that's the first thing you think of. Throughout the day, it's calling you. It's like a need, it's an obsession. You go to sleep every night thinking about it. And it's something that it brings pure joy. It's not a fear-based need. It's not you trying to fill that void of, trying to escape a fear that might happen, or a need of not being enough and trying to fill that void. It's something that just sparks your soul on fire, and it feels right. It feels like it has to be. It's something that can drive, it's so strong in you that it pushes back and you through any fear or doubts that you may have about yourself and whether you're worthy of it. There's no question. You have to have it. And that comes in with the other ingredients. So you have burning desire, you have imagination, so you can see it in your mind, you can feel it, and just know it's done because it's so real in your mind. Because honestly, as he says in the book even, is your imagination is the seeds of reality. So if you can imagine it, it's already done. At some point in time, it's done. If you can feel it. And when you can imagine it in your head, you know that's yours. Because something that you're having trouble like putting in your head and imagining you have, that's not your burning desire. That's a desire that you're trying to either fill a need for yourself to feel worthy, or to think it's a desire that you feel like you're supposed to have because society tells you that's what success looks like. For instance, we as women feel a need to have the perfect body to be considered sexy. Even myself, I caught myself the other day like trying to get into a workout and being like, why? I can work out easy. It's not a big deal. But lately I've just had this like, I don't want to work out. I'm a fucking trainer. So that says something. And it's because I finally realized a lot of the time, subconsciously, I'm still in those patterns of working out because I feel like I have to, because as a trainer, I have to have that body. In society, I'm supposed to look a certain way to be considered fit and healthy, and anything else you want to attach to that, of being enough. And that's still in me right now. And that's when you can notice the difference between a burning desire and something that you're seeking outside of yourself. Something that it's filling a void. Pleasure. And the difference between having that burning desire, and it doesn't even have to be strictly for you. It can be for someone else as well. It can be for someone else to be healthy and happy, or someone else to be, successful. Your partner, your loved one, your kids. As long as it's not a fear-based need, that can be a burning desire. So I wanted to give you that difference. So for me, realizing for the workouts that I didn't want to work out because, I no longer had that need to fill that void. I realized the difference between a burning desire of feeling like I need to have something to prove I'm worthy and to know I'm already worthy right now. So the difference being is, right now, my main intention, my calling, is to feel good on the inside. And that's taken precedence over my physical body. Because I now realize that I am enough no matter what. And it's really your internal reality, your beliefs about yourself that matter. Which is why I've been so driven to constantly reading and meditating and learning. Because that is my burning desire. I've accomplished every body weight and yet never felt good on the inside. And just today it hit me. I have a burning desire. That burning desire is not the body. And it's not about never working out again. It's about realizing what my calling is and finding a reason to do it that correlates with that calling. So for me, working out is feeling gratitude for what I can do. Conquering a new skill, just for the joy of it. But the number one intention I'm trying to get to today is find your burning desire. Because so many of us, we hop on that fitness train New Year's Day and it's like, why are we doing it? 99% of the people that come to me, they don't have that fitness goal for themselves. It's not a burning desire. And that shows when they spend a week with me training and they let those fears, those limiting beliefs that are coming up, kick them right off the train again. They get sick, or it's too much money. Money is never an issue, by the way. It's priority. So if anything stops you from going after something and causes you to quit, that means that wasn't a burning desire for you. You have to want something so bad that you see anything after that is just a stepping stone to get you that goal. There's no if. It's a win. And that all comes with the first step of finding what's calling to you. So we have the burning desire. We have the imagination. You can see it, feel it, touch it. Now it's faith. Like I said, knowing it's going to be done. It's not a question. Nothing is going to stop you from that goal. And the mind's a tricky thing. So I've learned. I spent over a year now diving into my mind. And every day I find a new limiting belief or something that I wasn't conscious of. And every layer I pull back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I never even realized I thought that way. And that's what life's about. It's about pulling back those layers and realizing your truth. Who you are and what your true calling is. And one thing today that the story he shares in his book, I'll give you a recap version because I don't want to be too long about it. But he talks about how basically seeing any adversity as a blessing. He used different words and it's not coming to me right now. But not seeing any setback as something that's holding you back. Whether it's a health issue or financials or, whatever it is in life. But seeing it as something that is teaching you a lesson and also your strength. Because so many times when we have this desire, we're held back by all the reasons we can't have it. And most of the time it comes down to us not being worthy of it. And that's what sets us back. And that's why the burning desire has to get you beyond that. It has to get you beyond that feel of you not being enough or you not deserving of it. And that's where it comes in, is seeing anything you see as a limitation of yourself or something that you don't like See it as a way of leveling up to get to that dream of yours that's in your head. So nothing is limitation. And the story he describes this as is his son being born without ears. When he literally, he could not hear. The doctors told him that he'd never hear in his life. And he had this theory that if he planted in his head his burning desire, that he would hear again. No matter what, he would be able to hear. He would be fine. So every day when he was a baby, he instilled that. He put that into him. And then when he got old enough to actually, hear and, whatever, like learn, he started playing him music in his crib. And he talks about how the first day he realizes his son was actually hearing the music because he was putting his mouth on the edge of the crib and the vibrations were allowing him to hear it. And he would literally just be so enthralled with the music. And so every day as he grew older, he would instill in him, this you not having ears is a blessing. Look at all the ways that you're blessed. And he even said, he made up some stuff, because, obviously it's not the best way to tell a kid, but he would say, people are going to give you things. People are going to treat you nicer. You're going to be able to do so much more, because he had a brother, too, that was perfectly healthy. And he is instilled in his mind, it's not a setback. It's not an adversity. It's a blessing. Because the thing we do in life is, even as parents sometimes, we instill it's for instance, when a kid gets hurt and they do that test of, if you smack the door frame next to him, for instance, they start immediately crying if you freak out, right? The same thing goes with that. If you see it as an adversity, they're going to see it too as an adversity. But if you see it as something like a blessing, oh my gosh, yes, this is great, that's what they're going to see it. So as he grew up, instilling that burning desire of being able to heal and being normal and being equal. Because he even put him in this normal school. He didn't put him in a deaf school or anything like that. He was adamant about he would learn. And he did. He slowly was able to heal things. And the doctors were like, what? How is this happening? I mean, they still yell at him pretty loud, but he was starting to heal. And in fact, they compared him and his brother. And they had this story about how he wanted at 7 to, deliver newspapers. And his brother was already doing it and making money, and he wanted to do it. And his parents were like, no, you can't ride your bike because you can't hear and it's dangerous in the street. So one night, he sneaks out of his room while they're all away. And just the maid's there, I guess. And he sneaks out, he gets the money to rent a bike and a bunch of papers, and he sells it that night. And people pay him more because of his lack of hearing. And they see this potential in him. He comes back with, I think it was 50 cents or something. So he made money. And the parents come back, and he's gripping the money in his bed, and they start crying. And he realized right then that he instilled that in him. He became self-reliant because of his burning desire to be normal for him. And he instilled that in him. And he even says in the book that, it was his faith in my burning desire that set him up for success. And that's what we can do for our children and ourselves. Have that faith that our burning desire is complete and nothing is going to stop us, no matter what your goal is. And he grew up, and they actually in college developed a hearing aid that actually worked for him. He was able to hear in everything normally. And so he was so happy with it. He felt such joy for it. He wrote the company a letter. And then they actually had him come in and take a tour, and he found his calling at that moment. He wanted everyone else that had gone through his type of journey to be able to have this blessing too. So he actually came back, and he spent 2 years figuring out a plan to distribute their products and studying how they did it, to distribute these products and what he learned from his dad into courses that help millions of people. Because he found his calling in his adversity. Showing right there that anything is possible. Even doctors, they were saying like, there's no reason why he should be able to hear at all. There was no internal communication or hearing system in his ears. Nothing. They said they have no clue how that happened. And it all came from burning desire. Because nothing's impossible. The only thing that stops one person from, being successful in accomplishing what they desire, and someone that's not, is the burning desire. Because you have to have enough of a desire to have that faith and imagination in it. That's going to drive you past any kind of resistance, whether it's internal or external. There's no doubt that you're worthy of it. Because you have to have it that bad. And we do this every day. It's all about priorities. It's the same way, we say, I can't afford that. But if it's something you really want, no thought, get it in some way. It's all about what you truly want. So it's never an issue of money. It's always an issue of priority. Whether you want it. And if it's okay. There's no one can dictate to you what you're supposed to want. And even for myself, I fall into this trap all the time with my business of thinking, trying to conform to what I'm supposed to do. But all the greatest minds, they didn't conform. They stood out. They did something completely different. Every person in life that's made it and made an impact in history has never conformed. They've always done something completely different that people saw them as crazy for. But it all stemmed from a burning desire and the imagination and the faith that it was already completed. Those are the 3 ingredients to any success. So you ask yourself, so many people think they're stuck in life and they don't know what their calling is and what they want to do. They just know they want more. And that's the first step, wanting more. The next step is finding that thing that burns inside you, that brings you such joy when you think about it, that starts to drive you into action. Because the moment that you have that destination, that burning desire, that dream, that is like putting it into the navigation. And if you can imagine it and have faith in it, and every day, tell yourself, feel it, and feel the joy of having it, you will be guided to that destination no matter what. Through your subconscious mind, through the universe, through your self-reliance, believing in yourself, and not accepting anything less than that desire of being fulfilled. You will accomplish anything. The only thing that, if you think in the past of all the times that you may have failed at something, truly ask yourself if that's what you wanted, or if that's what you were supposed to want. If that's what society has told you that you're supposed to, in order to feel a certain way, that you needed to have done it that way or have that thing. For money. So many people think money is happiness. That in order to be successful, they have to have a great job and money saved up and a house and a family. So we try and conform. We all have our individual path and our individual soul calling. You cannot look at someone else and copy them and get that authentic happiness, that authentic calling. So I suggest to you what I did just this morning. If you're unsure of what your calling is, take a look at your failures, your adversities, those hindrances that you think are holding you back from doing anything. And shift it and see it as truly your tools to level up. That makes you unique and is paving the way for your calling. For an example, for me, I started out when I was little with a speech impediment. I sound like I was from Boston. And, my parents put me through speech classes and this kind of, I got made fun of and I was in elementary school for it, and it made me feel like it was a hindrance. Like it was like I was weird and I shouldn't talk because of it. And so instead of seeing it as something that set me apart, which I later, did, And miraculously, it actually got better out of nowhere. I don't know. I still probably sounded like a little bit, but it left. I don't know what happened. But in that way, even thinking back, I could have thought of it as, it was a conversation starter. I had so many people come up to me and be like, oh, where are you from? Like, and then it would be a conversation starter. But they would remember me because of that. It made me different. It made me stand out. But it also taught me a beautiful lesson that I wish I would have learned sooner. That it wasn't a hindrance. But also that I do have a voice. And it's unique. It's a unique perspective. Then after that, I figured out I was gay at a young age. And that made me not want to talk more, not express myself more. Because I thought of it as a hindrance. As something to be ashamed of. So I spent a good decade of my life being shameful of it and holding it in and, shaming myself for it and trying to conform to what a straight person would do. So much so that it stopped me from really experiencing life. And then I got into fitness as a way of, making myself enough to counteract being gay, to be worthy. And that fitness journey, it started off rocky. I got an eating disorder. I spent a decade doing it for the wrong reasons. Granted, I became a trainer to help people because that's always been my calling. But for my personal reasons, I was not doing it for the right reasons. It was fear-based. And I still got it done. I still did, but I wasn't happy at any body weight. So, I say this all because I've been beating my head against the wall because I've been feeling this calling to do more this past year. I can't just be a trainer anymore. I need to branch out and tell people what I'm learning and to teach them how to conquer their desire and tap into it to truly live inspired. And I was beating my head against the wall, reading all these books and always waiting for that moment to feel enough, like I was worthy of expressing my message and following my calling. And it hit me this morning. So I started to look back at my journey and what I learned and how many people suffer from the same things today. Maybe different as far as, the context, but it's the same feelings of not being enough, of feeling lost, of feeling, especially women, feeling they need to be a certain way to be sexy, to feel fulfilled, or, to be enough. We hold these aspects in our mind that we have to be a certain way to fit in this box, to then feel a certain way. And it's a horrible feeling to feel not enough, to constantly be searching outside of yourself for that validation. And I spent my life doing it. And I realized today, this whole time I've been enough. And everything that I thought made me not enough was what made me me, what made me enough. Because it's taught me all these lessons to share into my calling, which is teaching women that they are enough and to follow their burning desire, to live their happiest life in the body that they want, not what they're supposed to want. The moment you tap into your burning desire and feel that joy and feel that sense of, wow, I am enough. I don't have to do shit because I'm already perfect, is the moment you begin to truly live life at the fullest extent. You don't have anxiety because you realize that every desire isn't about being more. It's about learning more about yourself and learning the lessons to tap more into who you are, to your true calling, to you, the essence of you. It's not about the physical manifestation, which is why every time we achieve, money or whatever we had in our head, for me, even the body, it was never enough because it wasn't fulfilling that desire. I wasn't learning the lessons needed. I wasn't really tapping into who I truly was. And that's the name of the game. It's not about the physical manifestation. It's the lessons learned. It's you leveling up and seeing that greater consciousness of who you are. So it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. It doesn't matter, if you're in a relationship, or if you have the perfect body, or whatever. You are all on your individual journey. So I urge you today to take a look at your life and see where you think that you're not enough, and see how that's actually a part of your calling. A way of helping someone else get past their blocks that you may have already conquered. The only limitation is your imagination. That's what so many people say, including Neville Goddard's known for it. And it's completely true. You are your only limitation. If you don't believe you're enough, you won't be enough in anything. No matter how much you try and force and do in the outer reality. No matter how perfect your body is, or no matter how perfect of a wife or partner you are. If you're doing it from a state of not enough, you will always be enough. If you see yourself as, unlovable or unworthy of abundance, you will have that. But it all starts in anything towards wellness, happiness, whatever. It starts with tapping into your truth, to your burning desire, into knowing that you're enough. Get into that burning desire that no matter what in your heart, it's done. And anything after that is a stepping stone toward it. Because we learn the most from our failures. They're not failures. They're lessons. They're stepping stones. So I hope this, reached the right people today to start really thinking about who you want to be and what you want, and know that it's attainable. And if you want some help doing that, message me. This is what I do. This is my calling that I'm coming into. And even if it's with me or not, know that it can be done. And listen to your internal guidance system, your feeling of joy, and let your imagination guide you. Let those little callings to, that looks interesting, let's go to that. Your soul is always guiding you. That is your emotional guidance system. And it can be as small of a thing as, I want to go to the store. You never know what's going to lead you to the next level. So if you're feeling that sense of joy in what I'm saying, that means your soul is in alignment with that. Follow that sense of joy, of that truth. And I will be posting this on my YouTube channel as well. So it's Lindsay Perrone. And it's on my website, www.conquerfitwithlp.com. And yeah, so you can check it out, share it to anyone who thinks needs to hear this as well. And, let me know if you see this, so hashtag replay, if it's replay. I want to know who I'm reaching. And feel free to message me. Let's talk. Do you have questions? Let's talk. It's about connection. If you want to, go on a journey with me, cool. If not, I don't care. I'm here to help. So with that, happy Sunday, and I will see you next time.